How to configure Windows Server 2016 as a remote access server. To configure Windows Server 2016 as a remote access server, you will need to 1. Install the Remote Desktop Services role. 2. Configure the Remote Desktop Services settings. 3. Enable Remote Desktop Access. 4. Allow users to connect to the Remote Desktop Server. Here are the steps in detail. 1. Install the Remote Desktop Services role, *, open the Server Manager console. *, go to Roles and Features, add Roles and Features. *, select Remote Desktop Services and click Next. *, select the Remote Desktop Services role and click Next. *, click Install. 2. Configure the Remote Desktop Services settings, *, open the Remote Desktop Services console. *, go to Settings General. * in the Allow Connections From field, specify the IP addresses or host names of the computers that you want to allow to connect to the Remote Desktop Server. * in the Maximum Connections field, specify the maximum number of users that can connect to the Remote Desktop Server at the same time. * in the Use Default Port field, specify whether you want to use the default Remote Desktop port, 3389, or a different port. * in the Allow Users to Connect Remotely Without Signing In field, specify whether you want to allow users to connect to the Remote Desktop Server without signing in. * click Apply. 3. Enable Remote Desktop Access, * open the System Control Panel. * go to System and Security, allow remote access to your computer. * in the Allow Remote Desktop Connections box, select Yes. * click Apply. 4. Allow users to connect to the Remote Desktop Server, * open the Active Directory Users and Computers console. * find the user account that you want to allow to connect to the Remote Desktop Server. * right-click the user account and select Properties. * in the Remote Desktop Services tab, select Allow this user to connect remotely. * click Apply. Once you have completed these steps, users will be able to connect to the Remote Desktop Server using the Remote Desktop Client. Here are some known error codes while configuring Windows Server 2016 as Remote Access Server. Error 0x80070005. This error code indicates that the Remote Desktop Services role is not installed. Error 0x80070490. This error code indicates that the Remote Desktop Services settings are not configured correctly. Error 0x80070491. This error code indicates that Remote Desktop Access is not enabled. Error 0x80070492. This error code indicates that the user's account is not allowed to connect to the Remote Desktop Server. If you encounter any of these error codes, please check the following. Make sure that the Remote Desktop Services role is installed. Make sure that the Remote Desktop Services settings are configured correctly. Make sure that Remote Desktop Access is enabled. Make sure that the user's account Remote Desktop Server.